Class is dismissed, boys and girls.
You're in. Let's go!
Previously on the YTV Retrospective.
I am inevitable.
Check this out.
Everybody.
Check it out.
The 1990s. The decade of bright neon jackets, boy bands roaming the earth, warring Saturday morning cartoon blocks, and edgy gun-toting comic book heroes. We'll also talk about these and more than PJ Phil and Company. This is the Anti-Gravity Room. The Anti-Gravity Room was a weekly magazine-style series hosted by Nick Skolar, Sashi Bhatia, and Phil Guerrero. The show focused on reviews of comic books, video games, animation, and motor oil.
Greetings, fellow aficionados of the finer arts. I'm Nick, and I'm here to serve your comic book needs.
And I'm Phil, and I got the 411 on video games, animation, and motor oil. From what makes Batman Forever, to what makes the Tick-Tick, to what makes the STP.
Welcome to the Anti-Gravity Room.
This show feels like a live-action version of Wizard, the comics magazine. The interesting part about the series was that all three hosts were in some cases live from different cities. Nick in New York, Sashi in Los Angeles, and Phil in Toronto. This allowed for more on-location interviews at different events. For example, this footage of Nick, as he gets to try the new Batman ride at Six Flags Great Adventure in New Jersey.
Ever feel like you're gonna die? Woo! Just like it.
It wasn't just the three that were hosting, as there were many that were in different divisions. There was Jamie Mallon, Eugenie Vincent, Patricia Ribeiro, who you may recognize on Uh-Oh, and Ashna Patel, aka PJ Ashna. Not only did they review said video games and comic books, but they would also get interviews with celebrities and the people that create in the video game and comic book industry, including the likes of Kevin Smith and Stan Lee on the set of Mallrats.
And I understand Kevin said, gee, do you think we could get him? Not realizing what a ham I am. So the minute Jim Jack said, hey, Stan, would you be interested in, before he finished the sentence, I said, where do I go? When do I start?
Doug Tendable, creator of Earthworm Jim, as he discusses his next game, The Neverhood, bands like the Bare Naked Ladies and Kiss.
So what kind of comics did you guys read as kids?
When I was a kid, I used to read stuff like, I always liked the wackier things, Fantastic Four, Plastic Man, stuff that was a little more on the outside.
I loved Alpha Flight.
Yeah, Alpha Flight.
Yeah, because it was a the Canadian X-Men, sort of.
And so many more. Not just your Marvel Comics or DC comic book artists and authors, but going deeper into the comic book industry, with many indie authors interviewed and their comics featured. This was the brainchild of Nick Skolar, as he started a show on the Manhattan Neighborhood Network in 1993 with his friend Millen Dale called Talk Comics. It was a public access call-in show that focused on comic books with a big sponsor, but in the midst of all this, they had a lot on their plates. But like everything, there's the other and somewhat depressing side of the coin. Like the fact that, with school, and with making all the calls and arranging the interviews for the show, I don't get a lot of free time to myself. And it's a lot of hard work. But in the long run, I wouldn't give it up for anything. Although something was in the works. He brought the show to a larger channel, a brand new channel at the time by the name of the Sci-Fi Channel. Yeah, that channel. The same channel that brought Mystery Science Theater 3000 back for its last few seasons on TV.
Cool. Got a nice ring to it, huh?
Yeah, I sure hope they didn't pay retail.
Oh, give me a break.
Yeah, bite me.
Not only that, but it would be a collaboration with YTV and a company known as Fremantle. The Anti-Gravity Room lasted from 1995 to 1997, with 5 seasons. The 5th and last season would only air in Canada, as the Sci-Fi Channel would cancel the series early. The last season would have its name changed to Warp. Warp would bring in more of YTV's hosting talent, like Jennifer Ruscott and Paul McGuire. It was nominated for 2 different awards. One was a Gemini Award for Best Writer for an Information Programmer series with Ryan Lee, who wrote a few episodes of this, as well as episodes for Uh-Oh and Gamers. The other was a Young Artist Award for Best Performance by a Young Actor in Nick Skolar. Many episodes are available through YouTube at varying qualities. Out of the many shows that PJ Phil was involved with outside of his time on The Zone, this may be the one that lasted the longest. Get your comic book fix with the Anti-Gravity Room.
Well, anyway, I'm Nick.
And I'm Phil.
And I'll see you next time on the Anti-Gravity Room.
When we come back, we're going to look at one of the attempts to revive the 80s in the turn of the new millennium. But before I forget,
by the power of Grayskull!
Next time on the YTV Retrospective.
Watch and learn.
What's that guy's name?
That's Prince Adam, but he transforms into He-Man, sort of like Clark Kent and Superman.
He-Man, that's a weird name for a superhero.
What do you mean?
Well, Superman sounds strong. He-Man just sounds manly.
No. I don't know if He-Man sounds manly.
Well, he looks manly.
Just watch the show.
He-Man and the Masters of the Universe, Saturdays at 10 in Vortex.
Check this out.
I am Stan Lee, one of the stars of Mallrats, and you lucky people, are watching the Anti-Gravity Room.